What salary do you need to buy a $400,000 house in the Twin Cities? Couple rules of thumb here. At 5% down, the salary you need to have is at least an $80,000 salary. But that's at a 45% DTI. Not what's recommended. To comfortably own a home, your DTI should try to be around 30%. That would then put you at around $125,000 at 5% down. These numbers can change based off of, hey, how much of a down payment you have. Also, if you have any debts. And I know we've talked about this in a video in the past. Is the biggest thing that will kill your pre-approval number is your debts. It is so much easier to pay down debts than to get more of a down payment. I think that's the biggest thing that people don't realize is going, if you have 2 car loans, student loan debt,
credit cards,
and they go credit cards, and you go, hey, I'm just going to save up an extra $10,000 for a down payment to make this house cheaper. You almost can't out earn the market in a way.
Right.
Do you know what I mean with a down payment? You see
Yep.
what I mean? Like if housing prices go up in 3% over a year, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, can you keep up with that? Does the down payment offset that?
Keep that up.
You're going to have to double your down payment
Right.
is what
You're
usually happens.
better off to pay the debts down to make that payment feel more comfortable. The easiest way to do it and relieve that stress on your life of trying to make these payments and figuring out where my money's going to be allocated to. If I can eliminate more stress versus I'm going to keep taking on these debts and then I'm going to try to save another $10,000, that 10 grand is going to make a bigger impact on paying these debts off than it is going to be putting it for a down payment.
One of the interesting stats that we went over here a couple months ago that came out about the Minnesota housing market is this idea of where we rank in the country as far as hourly wages versus the average home sale price. So when we hear this number to go, oh my gosh, I have to earn this much money to be able to buy a house in Minnesota that's $400,000. It's like understood, it's a lot more difficult in other places. Luckily, Minnesota has a high salary state or high wage state comparative to the type of houses you can get. So I know that doesn't help all that much, but it could be worse. It's
Right.
kind of the theory and thought. Like it could be worse.
Yes.
But I also think it's this is like, man, just get started. I am actually running a high school project where they're going through to like talk about, hey, for younger kids to buy or waiting till you're older and like running the numbers of what's the difference if you bought when you were 18 versus when you bought when you were 35. Do you know what that number is?
I do not.
It's $350,000 is the difference.
That is crazy. Which
That's-
probably makes, I bought
That's
my
mathematically.
first house when I was 19. I paid $104,000 for it.
And I mean, I think that's the thing of like realizing of like, if you can start early, now don't get me wrong, what 18-year-old is actually going to be able to buy a $400,000 house
Right.
without parents' help kind of thing. But I think in reality, it's just like this idea to go, one, equity typically in your house is not always going to go up, but over the lifespan, like it's going to go up. It's
Averages should work in your favor.
Yeah, it's a forced savings is what it is,
Yep.
right? If the housing market's gone up by 3% in the last year, you bought a $400,000 house, well, in theory, you just made $12,000 in the first year. Now, stretch that out to be 18 years old to 35 years old. We're doing this over the course of 20 years, kind of thing. 20 times 12. Like, I mean, that's where we get the numbers. The other thing that happens too is like when you're in that house, you do buy down the principal.
Right.
So not only is the house value going up, but the principal is going down. Now, I know in the first few years, it doesn't go down a lot, but over the course of time, like it starts to go down. And it's this forced savings. And I think I had a few stories of this, like back when COVID was happening, 35 now. And when that was, right, that was 5-6 years ago. So I was like in my late 20s and
Early 30s.
some of my friends had bought a house in their early 20s and earlier time than most people did. They sold them during COVID, made a bunch of money off of them, and they were able to buy their dream home at 3% interest rates. And they had it. Everybody else was just getting into the market and had to buy the first time home buyer house. The only way a lot of times people make it into the $600,000 price ranges or the $1 million price ranges, they've owned a house before.
Right. And they can move and step it up because of the equity and the growth in the market.
That's what it is. I don't see too many people buying $800,000 houses that aren't selling a house. I don't know if I've ever seen it, to be honest with you. I've never had a renter go, hey, I'm buying my first house, $500,000 plus. Here we go.
Doesn't happen often.
Has it happened to you?
I've had it happen a few times, but we've saved a lot of money and financial situations are good. But yeah, it just doesn't happen.
I think that that's the thing, and the thing to get in your head, or like the thing to understand is like, if you can buy early, it's really important and it will help you. I know it may be difficult at the beginning. Tell me how difficult it was buying your first house.
It was very difficult. I got 2 renters to live with me to make this work. I was probably 45+% DTI when I bought that house. Going to college, working full time, brought a couple renters in to help things work.
Right. I have this both sides. This we're very frugal people. You're much more frugal now than you were back then. You'd never do that now. But like of having this idea of like, man, I need to have the perfect situation. I need to have enough of a down payment. It needs to be exactly this. And And I think we get caught in that analysis paralysis sometimes, especially if you're a Dave Ramsey fan, which you should be. Nobody better for helping you understand finances than Dave Ramsey. When Dave Ramsey says, get a 20% down, 15-year mortgage, I've never had a client ever do that.
Generally not a first-time home buyer. That's not
Definitely not a first-time home buyer.
Very rare.
If you have to do that, you are eating rice and beans and nothing else, and driving or walking to your job, and you're saving every dollar to get to that point kind of thing, and you have to wait until you're 35 to buy.
And you've already lost out on all that appreciation over the year. We're going with a minimal down payment as long as you're comfortable and can make it work. Makes sense.
Yeah. I think moral of the story is it's important and helpful to your life and your net worth and your financial situation to buy a house early. I feel like we get a little bit too much of the like, hey, just rent, keep renting, earn a bunch of money, just rent. You don't have to worry about a house and it's going to do this and it's going to do that. I'm like, yeah, sure. If you're an entrepreneur and you're building a business that's going to sell for $50 million, go ahead and rent. If you're that, yes, for sure, rent. If you're a normal human being, buying is going to be a better option in the long run. Just definitely is. Are you considering purchasing a house in the Twin Cities in 2026? Click the link below to get exclusive access to our 2026 Sell Smart, Buy Smart plan to help you come up with a decision for yourself.